Members' motion with no legislative effect. Honorable LAU Kwok-fan's motion on dynamically planning and consolidating the site to expedite the development of the Northern Metropolis University Town. 2 members will move amendments to the motion. This council will proceed to a joint debate on the motion and the amendments. Later, I'll first call upon Mr. Edward Lau to speak and move the motion. Then I'll call upon Ms. Chen Yuet-ming and Professor Chow to speak in sequence, but they may not move the amendments at this stage. The joint debate now begins. Members who wish to speak, please press the request to speak button. I now call upon Mr. Edward Lau to speak and move the motion. President, the Northern Metropolis is an important area for our economic transfer, grooming of talent, as well as the efforts to enhance our competitiveness. We have abundant education resources. We have a pluralistic environment. We're a city with 8 universities. All these are favorable conditions to build Hong Kong into a brand. The allure of our tertiary education is increasing. According to information in 24-25 of the 8 UGC-funded schools, there are over 26,000 non-local students, an increase by 5.8%. For non-UGC places, we have about 80,000 non-local students. It's estimated that it will be increased to 160,000 in the near future. Compared to the UK, the percentage is 9.3% and 5.9% in Australia. We still have quite a gap to plug. So far, we have been receiving a large number of applications from non-local students. We see that the percentage of non-local students will increase from 20% to 40%, and there may be further adjustments. The U.S. has tightened visa requirements in terms of students. Some elite students are looking elsewhere. They want to come to Hong Kong. About a dozen Harvard students will come to Hong Kong. Our university rankings are high. We have a very favorable cultural environment. There is a huge demand. At the same time, we don't have what it takes to meet demand. Say in terms of hardware, say dormitory places. We need to improve hardware. In 23-24, the shortage of dormitory places stands at 47,600. By 2028, it will increase to 120,000 places. The Development Bureau has taken into account the current situation. They've launched new measures. Hotels and commercial buildings are allowed to apply for conversion to student hostels. However, supply is still below demand. Heads of universities told us that if they are to attract elite professors and students to come to Hong Kong, they will ask if we have sufficient laboratories. They ask about our facilities. So teaching hardware is an important area. People talked about our property markets being lackluster. If we look at 2024, according to non-residential properties, 3 cases involved universities. Say, for example, Metropolis University, they've purchased a hotel and a commercial building to provide dormitory places. That's just about 150. City University has also bought some properties for teaching facilities. And the Hong Kong UST has also rented office space in Kowloon East. Metropole Restaurant has just been purchased by a university, and it will be turned into teaching facilities. If we are to build Hong Kong into an international education hub, we have to attract well-renowned institutions to come to Hong Kong. We need to enhance our teaching hostel facilities. We need space. We should lose no time to expedite the development of the Northern Metropolis. Well, the university towns are of 3 places: LAU, Hon LAU, and Takuleng. Well, it's 5 hectares in Hon LAU, 40 hectares in Takuleng, and 46 hectares in LAU. Progress of these areas are different. In 2026, Hon LAU will be formed ready for construction. LAU 2029. NT North New Town is beyond 2030. Infrastructure. By 2030, Hon LAU Station will be commissioned. The Hong Kong-Shenzhen West Rail from Shenzhen to Tianhai, by about 2035, it will be commissioned. Compared to LAU, as we've heard, that an agreement has been signed for the Northern Link to be constructed, but we'll have to wait till 2034 for it to be commissioned. Anti-North New Town, it will be beyond 2039. So, Hon LAU is most ready out of the 3 areas. There is a huge demand for tertiary education, for R&D facilities. We need to make use of Hon LAU to develop these facilities. We can also make use of nearby areas for scale of economies. Yes, Hon LAU may be the most ready, but it's the smallest in size, 5 hectares only. It's very difficult for it to become a university town with economies of scale. But there can be a dynamic planning of land in the Northern Metropolis. Well, the last time when there was planning made in Hon LAU, it was 2018, 7 years ago. Well, I've worked with different organizations. We looked at the planning of Hon LAU to see if anything can be changed. We can consolidate land in the north and in the south, thereby increasing the area from 5 hectares to about 24 to 48 hectares. This is what we advocate. We use land to the south and the north to add about 24 hectares of land. The areas are used as GIC or industrial purpose. These existing uses don't match with the current demand. The scale of Hon LAU University Town should be enlarged. We need to improve the facilities so that the competitiveness of the area will be enhanced. Well, the concept of collaboration was floated at a very early stage without details. And here are some suggested details. We can combine academics and R&D. We can hopefully we can attract laboratories and research institutes to provide experience and chances for students. We can also work with the industries in the area. Say, for example, AI. We'll put in place dormitories. We'll improve the community. We want to create synergy. There are lots of sites that has been planned for commercial or residential use. The university town can not only meet a local demand, it will also meet demand from non-local students as well. I'm not going to talk about how many years the other industries will churn out results. But when it comes to healthcare and education, it's proved in Hong Kong that These are successful industries, and they deliver results in a very short time. I hope the government will have a dynamic planning of the university to make sure that it will be implemented soon. I move my motion. I now propose the question that Mr. Lau's motion be passed.
Ms. Chen Yuet-ming. Thank you, President. I thank Mr. LAU Kwok-fan for moving the motion. Hong Kong has 5 top 100 universities. The chief executive said that Hong Kong should develop post-secondary education. This is how we can carry out the mission assigned to us by our country to develop ourselves into a post-secondary education hub. The Northern Metropolis University Town, as one of the most important projects in the Northern Metropolis, is how we can turn ourselves into a post-secondary education hub. And this can allow our local and foreign universities to establish satellite campuses and increase the number of student places that we have. I think that the government should implement the project as soon as possible. Now, I'd like to talk about why I move my amendments. The top 3 Hong Kong universities have ancillary facilities nearby. Say, for example, there's Cyberport near Hong Kong U, there's Science Park near CUHK, and there's an Inno Park near Hong Kong UST. We have a 90-hectare site in the North Metropolis for the university town, but I see that in Yuet-ming there is a Central Technopole and the Hong Kong Park for the Loop. And Taku Ling, there is Inno Park and the Sandy Ridge Data Center. The problems that we're facing is because although we have achieved great achievements and performance in science and research, but we are lagging behind in terms of commercialization of research and development outcome. We have yet to build a brand for ourselves. So different zones in the university town have their different positioning. As we are dynamically planning and consolidating the site to develop the university town, we have to accord the characteristics of the zone to the environment. As Yuet-ming is near the Central Technopole, we should introduce, say, AI and data analytics programs into the universities there. Second, I'd like to talk about the vision and mission of Taku Ling University Town. There is a site of 40 hectares in Taku Ling, and it's shaped in a butterfly. As a priority development zone, the residents in Taku Ling are looking forward to the blueprint to be promulgated by the Education Bureau. The chief executive said that we should break new grounds. Hopefully, by having the blueprint, we can drive the development of Taku Ling. The natural rivers there, that is colored in blue here, will be widened as a central valley. I believe that the scenery for the universities will be very beautiful and is suitable for photo taking. Foreign universities also help to promote education and tourism. I support Professor Chow Kwan's amendments on supporting the establishment of branch campuses or graduate schools by local and non-local world-class universities. As we have a 90-hectare university town, I think that we have to work on building a Oxford or Cambridge of the Greater Bay Area. We have to also look into the feasibility of relocating some universities to the Northern Metropolis. The government has set aside a site for the Hong Kong APA, and they focus on percussion there. Recently, there is a pianist in Hong Kong who has won an international award. I think that we should work with other universities to create a joint campus to promote the development of performing arts, to consolidate our position as an East meets West Center. I hope that members will support my amendment. Thank you. Professor Chow Kwok. Thank you, President. I support Mr. LAU Kwok-fan's motion and Ms. Chen Yuet-ming's amendment. There are three main parts to my amendment. The original motion asks the government to implement the Hongshi-Kyo-Ha-Chun Song first. I think that we should implement it as soon as possible to show us urgency. The chief executive has also been advocating Hong Kong transforming into an international hub for post-secondary education. The EDB has been seeking expression of interest from tertiary institutions. I was part of it. The administration know the intention of universities. I think that we have to expedite the implementation. I'd like to talk about the nurturing of high-end talents. In order for us to turn ourselves into a post-secondary education hub, to go from 0 to 1, our progress is ideal. We have been having more non-local students in Hong Kong. As the Trump administration is prohibiting the Harvard University from enrolling international students, we can take this opportunity to hire more international students. In 2023, the policy address, the chief executive proposed building Hong Kong into an international hub for post-secondary education. Non-local students grew from 42,000 to almost 80,000. That's a double. In the U.S., they have 1.13 million non-local students. In UK, they have 660,000 non-EU students. There is still unused quota in the 8 universities. We have not exhausted the 40% cap. If we use it up, then I believe that we will have some 90,000 and 100,000 non-local students. That's why we must expedite a development. I believe that the Northern Metropolis University Town will be the project that is the most cost-effective and impactful. So I think that we should start from it and speed it up. Take the Silicon Valley as an example. The Stanford Research Institution comprises of 50% of Stanford graduates. They've created influential enterprises. Incheon University Town has driven local industry development and has nurtured many high-end IT talents that support their industrial development. In Guangzhou University Town, the same happened. There are strong views in the community asking the government to speed up the development of the Northern Metropolis. I think that the government and leaders of different sectors should act on people's demand. We have to leverage on our advantages by developing the Northern Metropolis University Town. By this, we can take our tertiary education to the next level, build a study in Hong Kong brand, and drive economic benefits. Accommodation, catering, entertainment, commercialization of R&D outcome, developing high-end industry and diversification of professional services, pulling together professionals. There are many benefits to the development of the Northern Metropolis University Town, and that help us transform and upgrade our economy. This is how I describe the effectiveness of the Northern Metropolis University Town. It can help diversify our economy, and this will also encourage foreign investment and attract foreign talents. Apart from developing hardware without infrastructures and policies, we are not able to draw enough talents. So we must also work on nurturing talents. Say, for example, U.S. has been combating going against the academia freedom. and there are many IT refugees around the world. So I think that we have to build a science park in the university town as soon as possible. I so submit. I hope that members will support my amendment.
發展局局長。
Secretary for Development. Thank you, Secretary. Just now the mic was not working. Deputy President, I thank Mr. Edward Lau for moving this motion. I also thank Ms. Chen Yuet-ming and Professor Chong Kwok for their amendments. It gives us an opportunity, especially me, in the capacity of the Secretary for Development and Ms. Choi Yuek-lin, Secretary for Education, to listen to members' views and suggestions on speeding up development of the Northern Metropolis University Town. The Northern Metropolis is key to our societal and economic development. It carries immense significance regarding high-quality collaboration between Hong Kong and other cities in the GBA, and also integrating into the National Development Blueprint. We always say that the Northern Metropolis planning is industry-driven. Some 3,000 hectares of new developable land will be provided to promote development of different industries, including post-secondary education industry. Since the announcement of the Northern Metropolis Action Agenda in the 2023 policy address, we have published development proposals for the Northern Metropolis Unitown. We have made preparations in terms of land planning and land creation. At present, we have reserved some 90 hectares of land in the Hung Shui-Kiu-Ha-Chu New Development Area, Ngau Tam Mei, as well as New Territories North New Town, to develop the Northern Metropolis Unitown, so as to fully align with our policy goal to develop Hong Kong into an international post-secondary education hub and its study in Hong Kong brand. The site reserved for Unitown in Hung Shui-Kiu is 5 hectares large. As mentioned by the member, the new development area in Hung Shui-Kiu-Ha-Chu has progressed in advance. Now we have completed formulation of statutory plan for the area. We expect as early as next year we can complete site formation for campus construction project to start. The site is located in the town center of the new development area and is near the future Hung Shui-Kiu station of the Tuen Ma Line and the Hung Shui-Kiu terminus of the Western Rail Link. It is very convenient. Concerning Ngau Tam Mei and New Territories North New Town, according to the development proposals announced last year, there are 46 hectares and 40 hectares of sites reserved for the University Town land use in the two NDAs. As suggested by Ms. Chen Yuet-ming, the positioning of the two university towns should be aligned with the surrounding industries to give play to synergized developments and complementarity. Ngau Tam Mei is located within the Innovation and Technology Zone in the Northern Metropolis. It is near the 17th Annual Pole and the Hong Kong Park of the HSIDP in the Loop. That's why there will be a large-scale integrated teaching cum research hospital and the third medical school in the Ngau Tam Mei NDA. Now, in terms of new territories, New Town, the positioning of the zone is boundary commerce as well as modern logistics, green industry, advanced construction, and advanced manufacturing. The Unitown in the New Territories North New Town can engage in synergized developments with the relevant industries and also enhancing collaboration in terms of education with Shenzhen. Earlier this year, we have started a 2-month public consultation activities concerning the land use proposal for Ngau Tam Mei and New Territories North New Town. We are now analyzing the views collected. We will formulate an OZP as well as conduct the environmental impact assessment according to the Environmental Impact Assessment Ordinance and formulate a detailed design plan. After completing the statutory town planning procedures, we will attach priority to developing the university town lands in these two new NDAs. We expect that the land formation projects led by the government in Yuet-ming can start as early as 2027, with the first batch of land delivered in 2029. For the University Town land in the new territories North New Town, they are included in the priority development area of the area. Our site formation projects can start as early as year 2028 and 9, with the first batch of land delivered in year 2030 and 31. We will make reference to the needs of the Education Bureau and the post-secondary institution and adjust the size of land provided. We emphasize that while we are making plans for the land, the Education Bureau is formulating the University Town Development Conceptual Framework. Land allocation will start at this stage before site formation work is completed, so that institutions can make advanced preparation in terms of raising funds, making designs for the campus, and recruiting teaching personnel. Upon site formation, the institutions can immediately take over and begin construction in earnest. One of the proposals made by members is to increase the size of sites reserved for the Unitown in Hung Shui-Kiu. In fact, the size of land reserved for the University Town in the 3 NDAs have increased from 60 hectares to 90 hectares. In terms of Hung Shui-Kiu, there are numerous industry positioning, including modern logistics, professional services, and post-secondary education. Relevant sites have been reserved for these purposes, as well as for housing and social and community facilities. As I've mentioned, statutory planning procedures have been completed earlier on, but this is a dynamic process. We keep an open mind, and we will be pleased to consider different proposals on the premise of social interest and other factors, including exploring whether there is room to further increase the size of land reserved for Unitown in Hung Shui-Kiu. Deputy President, I look forward to listening to members' views and suggestions before giving a consolidated reply. Thank you.
Secretary for Education. President, I thank Mr. LAU Kwok-fan for moving the motion, Ms. Chen Yuet-ming and Professor Chow Kwok for the amendments on dynamically planning and consolidating the site to expedite the development of the Northern Metropolis University Town. Education is the foundation for building a strong nation and the revitalization of the nation. The 20th National Congress report put forward the goal of building a leading country in education by 2035. President Xi Jinping delivered an important speech at the National Education Conference in September 2024, after which he promulgated the 2035 Master Plan on building China into a leading country in education, which provides a clear and systemic direction for the country's future education development. To build a leading nation in education, higher education is the key. Under the unique institutional advantages of one country, two systems, Hong Kong's overall educational competitiveness ranks second in the world. Our higher education is highly internationalized and diversified, with 5 of the world's top 100 universities. We have also achieved great results in the latest 2026 QS World University rankings, especially in terms of academic influence, research level internationalization. In its 2023 policy address, the chief executive took the lead in developing Hong Kong into international post-secondary education hub and a cradle for future talents. In this regard, the government is promoting a series of specific measures, including increasing the quota for non-local students in government-funded universities, increasing the number of Belt and Road college scholarships, and gradually increasing the number of Hong Kong PhD fellowship scheme. The 2024 policy address further proposed that the government will strive to build a study in Hong Kong brand while promoting the cultivation of local talents and at the same time attracting outstanding students and scholars to work and study in Hong Kong. The Northern Metropolis is a strategic development base and a new engine to drive Hong Kong to new heights. It is one of the policy priorities of the current government. In 2023, the government announced the Northern Metropolis Action Agenda, which outlines the development positioning of the 4 major zones and put forward a series of specific development goals. Among them, the government emphasized that it will strive to development in Northern Metropolis University Town. The Metropolis The Northern Metropolis has new land, new population, and a well-connected transportation network. The space will be made available for the tertiary education sector to expand and improve quality. On the other hand, the government will continue to actively promote the parallel development of the self-financing and publicly funded post-secondary education sectors. We will encourage self-financing institutions to further capitalize on the advantages for the Northern Metropolis to explore, identify, and develop more distinct niche areas, operate programs on a self-financing basis so as to respond swiftly to the changing manpower needs of different sectors in society and to provide young people with diversified articulation pathways. Regarding Mr. Lau's suggestion that an expression of interest exercise should be launched for the university town, the government is exploring the best way forward and mode of development for the university town through brainstorming. In June 2023, the Education Bureau organized a briefing session for post-secondary institutions, including USGC-funded universities, Vocational Training Council, and self-financing post-secondary institutions, to introduce the post-secondary education sites in the Northern Metropolis and consult the institutions on their preliminary development intentions and proposals. In August 2023, the Education Bureau invited institutions interested in providing views on the development of post-secondary education in the Northern Metropolis to submit brief proposals and make presentations for mutual exchange. Among them, 19 post-secondary institutions participated in the consultation exercise and submitted proposals. Just now, the Secretary for Development has explained to the members the overall planning framework and development progress of the Northern Metropolis. Now, I'd like to focus on the development and planning of the university town in order to give a preliminary response to members' motion and amendment. At present, the government has reserved about 90 hectares of land in Hong Shui-Kiu-Ha New Development Area, the Ngao Main New Development Area, and the New Territories North New Town for the development of a university town. In line with the industry-driven infrastructure-led approach in the Northern Metropolis, tertiary education institutions in the area will mainly develop on a self-financing basis and will work with well-known mainland and foreign institutions in a flexible and innovative manner to develop more branded programs, research, collaboration, and exchange programs. By sharing resources and industrial linkages with the region, synergies will be enhanced and more overseas talents will be attracted to Hong Kong. At the same time, it will seize opportunities brought about by the country's rapid development, give full play to Hong Kong's strengths, and contribute to our country. Regarding member suggestions on the sites, I would like to point out that land is a precious resource. In formulating the overall layout and planning for tertiary education, we have made reference to the preliminary development intentions of the university town submitted by relevant institutions earlier. We have adopted a pragmatic attitude and steady development approach, taking into account various factors and development priorities. The government has increased the size of the town from about 60 hectares to about 90 hectares, so as to cope with the demand of the post-secondary sector. We are now discussing with the relevant bureaus and departments on planning matters such as the specific location, size, use, and density of the reserved site to enhance the cost-effectiveness and synergy among different institutions. We will further explore the setting up of more shared facilities and ancillary facilities, such as data centers, student hostels, etc. in the planning process, and progressively take forward the relevant work in accordance with the following 4 objectives and strategies, which include industry-led, support Hong Kong to develop into an international post-secondary education hub, aligned with the nation's development strategies, and industry-led step-by-step. In the planning process, we will carefully consider all factors, including feasibility, cost-effectiveness, how to optimize the use of existing campuses and public resources, and so on. The Education Bureau will continue to liaise with interested institutions to formulate practical arrangements for taking forward the project. In considering the development options for the Northern Metropolis University Town, we will select the best ones to ensure that the institutions that move in can match the strategy and regional development positioning of it. The Education Bureau plans to announce the Northern Metropolis University Town Development Conceptual Framework in the first half of 2026 or earlier as soon as possible. In the following, the Secretary for Development and I will listen carefully to members' views. We will speak again after the debate to respond to members' suggestions. Thank you. Dr. LAU Kwok. Madam Deputy, I thank Mr. LAU Kwok-fan for moving the original motion and the other two members for moving the amendments. Hong Kong has many top 100 universities. The Chief Executive stressed time and again that we have to develop ourselves into an international post-secondary hub. The Northern Metropolis University Town is an important part of it. The government has reserved 90 hectares of land for it. They are in Hung Shui Kiu Ha Chu, Ngau Tan Mei, and New Territories North New Town. This is a great opportunity for us to develop post-secondary education. That's why, as a part of the motion, I think that we should speed up the development of the town to nurture more talents, so that we can reinforce our strengths and attractiveness as an international post-secondary hub. By this, we can propel the development of our economy. We have to develop the lands nearby in tandem with the university town. I think that the INT zone and the boundary commerce and industry zone should synergize with that of the university town. The SAR government should publish the conceptual framework for the university town as soon as possible to promote collaboration. Say, for example, the government should encourage universities and enterprises to develop a platform to commercialize R&D outcome. We have to encourage high value-added industries to move in so that there will be synergistic in development. The government should also enhance the plot ratio for the university town to enhance flexibility so that we can ensure the quality of education and make sure that we make the best and most out of our resources. The successful implementation of the town hinges on the transport network. The 3 sites for the town are well connected, but the government should make sure that we adopt this infrastructure-led approach. We should make sure that a railway project can be commissioned in time. The Northern Link will span across the Northern Metropolis. I'm glad that the government has signed the relevant agreement to start building the Northern Link. The NTRCL will introduce technology from the mainland to enhance speed so that in 2034 we can commission the link. I think that this will expedite the development of the Northern Metropolis so that we can complete the town as soon as possible. In the university town, the university should build hostels for students, teaching staff, and other facilities to create a livable place that is suitable for people to work. I think also the government should step up international collaboration, work with R&D companies from other places. International landscape has become more and more complicated, and this has brought opportunities for us. The Chief Executive pointed out that we welcome any students affected by the U.S. policies. If they are treated unfairly, if they are discriminated against, they are most welcome to come. I think that the government should seize these golden opportunities to promote the study in Hong Kong brand. Apart from promoting our brand through the ETO, we should establish dedicated organizations to coordinate the work of attracting students and talents. We should also work with mainland authorities to help top-tier mainland universities go global. At the same time, the government should internationalize our local universities. We have to encourage universities to participate in the construction of university town by building a 3rd medical school or setting up satellite campuses there. At the same time, we should encourage local universities to build a double degree program and satellite campuses in the universities in collaboration with mainland and overseas universities, so that we can build an international university town. So submit.
Mr. Ronick Chan, Madam Deputy, when it comes to tertiary education, it is the key to enhancing industries, developing the soft power of a place, as well as grooming our talents. The Northern Metropolis provides land for the development of a university town. We can make use of the land by putting in resources to enhance our competitiveness as an international education hub. I speak in support of the original motion and the amendment. The Northern Metropolis is a key drive for development. There will be a lot of enterprises clustering there, but we need to groom a pool of talents. INT is an advantage. The government should talk to universities and send out expressions of interest to mainland universities. Shenzhen is a center for INT development. They attach importance on collaboration between the academics and research. They have worked to attract renowned universities such as Tsinghua to establish a presence there. The government can draw reference from their practice. In Hong Kong, universities use English as the medium of teaching. There are a lot of overseas teaching staff members here. There is also a very good connection with overseas education institutes. We can set targets for the Northern Metropolis University Town by incorporating this advantage. According to data in the academic year 23-24, there is a shortage of dormitory places for non-local students by 46,000. That means 3 non-local students will have to fight for 1 dormitory place. The government should do something about this. They should start with conducting a survey to gauge demand and supply. Land use should be planned accordingly. Some land should be reserved for dormitory. Fees for dormitories should be offered at an affordable level. Don't want to put an undue burden on students. When it comes to attracting enterprises, a good connection should be established. We want R&D to bring a pool of talent while helping enterprises to keep costs down. The Northern Metropolis University Town can focus on specific areas so that students will get a chance to put what they've learned into practice by working in these industries. When you learn and live in University Town, we're talking about local students and those coming from overseas as well as mainland China. They need to apply for identity card or handle various procedures. The Northern Metropolis is quite far away from major centers. There should be a separate office set in Hong Kiu so that formalities can be handled there. In addition, there should be exhibition facilities as well as hotels. These facilities will enable the university town to host major academic events, seminars, and conventions. The government needs to do some advanced planning to enhance the competitiveness of our university town. We need to aim for excellence. I urge the government, I submit and I urge the government to expedite the development of our university town. Mr. Lam Chun Sing, according to the government's plan, the university town will be at the Ngao-Tam-Mei area, the anti-North Newtown, as well as Hong Shui-Kiu. That will be about 90 hectares in size. Hong Shui-Kiu is more developed than the other areas. However, the area itself is just 5 hectares in size. It's the size of the Baptist University. Out of the 8 UGC universities, Baptist University is a small one. The government has made announcements to reserve Hong Shui-Kiu Hachun New Development Area for higher education institutions, 5 educational institutions such as Hang Seng, and as well as metropolis universities have expressed interest. This is not ideal because the size is too small. If the size can be expanded, these self-financed institutions can expand the scale of their operation. These institutions can explore the possible collaboration with mainland institutions. This will be a demonstration area for Ngao-Tam-Mei as well as anti-North Newtown. Invitations should be sent to mainland and overseas universities to solicit their interest. We don't want the university town to be used by local universities for expansions. There is still space available in Hong Kong, within Hong Kong U and CUHK. Conditions have to be met before they are allowed to establish presence in the university town. First, the university should have collaboration with universities of other places. It's not just limited to organizing of training courses. There should be collaboration in terms of R&D. A delegation of the panel of education visited Shanghai. It was the functional area. There are about over 4,000 enterprises in there. Within just 1 year, about 70 projects that have been commercialized. If a similar approach is adopted, then there will be more startups within the area. Universities in this area should work together with industries there. Say, for example, there will be a 3rd medical school there. Teaching facilities near the 3rd teaching hospital should be related to various disciplines, say, for example, microorganism. Thirdly, there should be joint R&D projects. Institutions should be encouraged to submit joint proposals. The space can be used to conduct cross-institution, cross-discipline projects. Priorities will be given to these projects. At an early stage, I hope the education will have a target objective. They should cooperate, support R&D and other areas so that the university town will be a place to groom talents, not just a place where universities expand their campus. I speak in support of the motion. Mr. Jeffrey Lam. Hong Kong is the only city with 8 top 100 universities. In the policy address, the chief executive talked about building Hong Kong into an INT center and an international education hub. We should seize upon the opportunities to actively develop our industries, our education, so as to strengthen our position as an R&D center. 3 areas are identified to be university town. There is also land set aside for the 3rd teaching hospital. These are conditions conducive to attracting talents to come to Hong Kong. Enterprises will be attracted to come to Hong Kong as well. In order to tap into the advantage of the university town, I would like the government to do the following. These are my suggestions. In a Northern Metropolis, a single window can be set up. A promotion group should be set up to liaise with overseas R&D institutions and universities. Support as well as matching funds should be supported to attract them to come to Hong Kong. Well, there is a change in policy of a student intake of Harvard. A lot of elite students are concerned. They are planning to go somewhere else. The latest data shows that our 8 universities have received about 850 inquiries from overseas students. The government should take the opportunity to step up our publicity, aiming to attract quality overseas students. This is a chance to tell good stories so that overseas students will know that Hong Kong is hospitable. Cross-institution course selections should be allowed so that students can choose different courses from a different institution. This will be conducive to grooming a talent of diversified talents. A review should be taken on the use of land in the nearby area. Near the Hong Kong UST, there are green zones. The land can be rezoned for education or R&D use. We need to put in place supporting measures to attract talents. In this regard, accommodation facilities should be built. We need to promote the development of a community that incorporates education, research, industry, and residents. This will enhance our competitiveness. In August 2023, the Education Bureau invited expressions of interest from education institutions. 19 have responded. It shows that there is a lot of interest. Some overseas institutions have expressed an interest too. There is high expectations of the university town. Apart from location and size, the details are unknown. It's expected that the overall plan will be materialized in 2026. Everything is still on the drawing board. The plan and the development plan should be promulgated and worked out and promulgated as soon as possible. Flexibility should be built in. We need to fully implement the development of the Northern Metropolis University Town. If we are to build the university town into a hotspot that attracts talents and universities, if we can succeed, we will strengthen our status. Thank you.
Ms. Nixie Lam, Deputy President, I speak in support of the motion moved by Mr. Edward Lau. The Northern Metropolis is more than a land development proposal. It is also the key strategic location for our future I&T development. Now, we always separate infrastructure, education, and industry in our development proposals. It was too scattered and it was outdated. We can't keep abreast with the international trend if we stick to this mindset. We need to embrace reverse thinking and use education to drive innovation and technology. Now, healthcare is important. There is an increasing global demand for fertility healthcare services. It incorporates the use of big data and AI. In Hong Kong, we have a robust R&D foundation, and also we have the advantages in terms of financing and international collaboration. If we can forge a platform focusing on fertility technology in the Northern Metropolis, we can become a technology hub in the Bay Area in the future. Now, the Hon LAU Kwok-fan is located as a strategic location. With the upcoming third medical school, if the focus can be on fertility technology, we can nurture a group of healthcare INT professionals in relation to fertility. Now, program design is one thing. We need to provide ancillary facilities as well. That includes state-of-the-art laboratories, testing use case scenarios, as well as hostel and accommodation for the talents and their family members. We need to have a comprehensive plan. Now, earlier on, we have visited such an example in Singapore. The park is industry-driven with supporting facilities for living. Now, I hope the government will invite universities and research organizations in the mainland and overseas to submit expression of interest before making plans for infrastructure and accommodation. We should turn around from the established mindset of industry-driven approach when developing Unitown. Now, we have 5 top 100 universities in Hong Kong. These are the strategic assets of our post-secondary sector. Combining the platform of Northern Metropolis Unitown, we can attract top-tier talents from the world to learn and teach fertility-related programs to promote our developments in terms of healthcare and life and health technologies. Now, this is about using policy incentives to build the backbone of Northern Metropolis Unitown. We need to build an international innovation platform to make ourselves the leader in the world. Thank you. Mr. Frankie Yik, Deputy President, the Liberal Party has always been concerned about the development of our education industry. Now, the country has been attaching more importance to education. The 19th Party report says that education is a national goal. Now, with our efforts, Hong Kong has become one of the best city in terms of education. Now, we have received very good ranking in the QS World University ranking this year again. It is encouraging. Now, we need to improve our population structure and create a large talent pool to support our developments under the 8 centers direction and also to align with national strategies. Now, with the tight manpower situation as well as the structural decline in school-age children, we need to step up attracting non-local students to study in Hong Kong. This is important for the development of our post-secondary industry. Now, with heightening geopolitical tension, there has been more and more pressure on non-local students overseas. Now, we have received a lot of application and inquiries from overseas professors and students asking about a possible transfer to Hong Kong. We should make use of this opportunity to attract elite professors and students from overseas, and also make use of our connection with Belt and Road countries and ASEAN member states. Now, there are limits in terms of campus size as well as student hostel availability. We may miss the chance. Now, 90 hectares of sites have been reserved in the Northern Metropolis for developing the Unitown. But if you look at other famous universities, for example, Yale, it is 441 hectare large. Cambridge and Oxford, they are 250 and 364 hectare large. Peking University and Tsinghua University are 180 and 482 hectares in size. By comparison, our schools are only 45.2 hectares large. City U is 15.6 hectares large. Polytechnic University is 19.4 hectares large. For Baptist University, it is 15 hectares large. There is an urgent need to allocate more land resources to our universities. We urge the administration to consider allocating more land for post-secondary institutions in the Northern Metropolis and build the infrastructure quickly. With more non-local students studying and living in Hong Kong, it will create synergy with other economic activities, for example, finance and real estate. More importantly, non-local students can get a taste of the rich Chinese culture. This will overcome the smearing campaign launched by the Western media. Now, with more non-local students in Hong Kong, it will enhance interaction between the Chinese people and people from around the world. Now, our world-renowned education system is an important edge with which we can make a contribution to the country. We should make the best use of the Northern Metropolis University Town site and invest more in our educational system and support the country to achieve the goal to becoming a strong nation in education and talent by 2035. I so submit to support the motion and the amendments. Dr. Tan Yueheng. Thank you, Deputy President. In terms of research, academic, and industry, the academia is the important foundation for making Northern Metropolis a base for new quality productive forces. Now, 90 hectares of land have been reserved in the area for developing the Unitown. It is planned that by first half of the 2026, the conceptual framework would be announced for the Unitown development. Now, there is an initial shape of the development. The government is striving to build the Study in Hong Kong brand and establish Hong Kong as an international educational hub. Now, with the geopolitical situation, many non-local students are under pressure, and there is more demand for a place in our universities. Now, we should seize this opportunity. Education should be one of the key starting points of the Northern Metropolis. With the expeditious development of the Northern Metropolis University Town, we can support other industries as well. That's why we support the motion and the two amendments. I support flexible allocation of land resources nearby to speed up the advanced site formation projects for the Unitown. Now, under the dual core model, there will be 3 areas with University Town. Now, in Yau Tang Mei and Hung Shui Kiu, they are the 2 cores of the Unitown. One will interact with the research sector, the other will interact with the industry sector. Now, the Yau Tang Mei is the INT, is located within the INT zone. There can be collaboration between the universities and the research sector. Now, for the New Territories North New Town, it is located in the Boundary Commerce and Industry Zone. It is based for emerging industries. Through collaboration with the post-secondary institution, there will be synergized developments for the 2. Of course, the government must play an important coordinating role between the 3 parties. research centers and collaboration platforms should be set up so that industry players can teach in the universities while graduates can work in the industry nearby. We also need to consider allocating more land to the Unitown. Many post-secondary institutions are interested in moving in to the Unitown. Now, there is a 10th world ranking university seeking more land for campuses. Now, to meet the need of the Unitown's development, we need to provide more hardware support. Now, besides Hung Shui Kiu, there is also available land in Ta Kwu Leng. The government can consider integrating and consolidating land to allocate more land for educational purpose. Thirdly, the Unitown should pool the quality resources of all universities. There should be clear division of labor between research, academic, and industry. Universities should focus on their distinctive niche areas to support complementary development. Now, there must be large-scale infrastructure to support the development of the Unitown. Stakeholders should contribute ideas into making the Unitown a livable place. Finally, we should make reference to the experience of Shenzhen and Guangzhou to create our own characteristic Unitown. In the future, the Northern Metropolis Unitown and the Unitowns in Shenzhen and Guangzhou will be the demonstration zone of high-quality education in the country. I so submit.
Professor William Wong, Deputy President. University Town is in the core zone of the Northern Metropolis. It is how we realize the vision of the North-South dual engine of INT and finance. In 2023, the Chief Executive, in his policy address, when he consulted the stakeholders on it, I said that we should create a university town that focuses on INT. The Chief Executive agreed to establish a university town in the Northern Metropolis. After that, the government reserved 3 pieces of site in the Northern Metropolis to build a university town. I have 3 suggestions. First, on planning. Northern Metropolis is a new development area, but the site is not only for the development of INT industry. There has to have open space, recreational sites, and residential developments. The university town is less than 100 hectares. So in terms of planning, we have to adopt a more flexible approach so that universities have sites and space for research and development. That's why I agree with what Mr. LAU Kwok-fan said, that we should dynamically plan and consolidate the site in the Northern Metropolis. To speed up the development, the administration has adopted a district-based development approach. In each local district, there will be commercial sites and public facilities. Developers who win the tender will develop the entire district altogether. I think that in terms of public facilities, we should have not just government buildings and parks. We should also have INT facilities such as R&D institutions for local universities or research institutions. For universities that are unable to create a campus in University Town, they can make use of these INT institutions to participate in the projects of the Northern Metropolis. Second, we should encourage the participation of universities in the Northern Metropolis. The government has already established a steering committee on the development of Northern Metropolis. I think that the NMCO should encourage the education sector to participate in the planning so that they can give their views and contribution. In the university town, we will not just have local universities, but also institutions from other countries. Local universities, after all, will be the biggest stakeholders and the users of the town. If we can collect their views as soon as possible, then we can meet their needs in terms of teaching and research as soon as possible. By inviting the universities to submit their views, we can develop a more user-friendly university town. Third, how do we select universities to move into the town? According to the government, we will adopt an industry-driven approach in planning for the town, and we are going to build ourselves into an international post-secondary hub. At the same time, we will promote the development of INT industry. So apart from introducing research-type universities to move into the town, we should encourage VPAT universities and also universities of applied science to create a campus there. They will be able to offer, say, internship places for students and offer technical support for enterprises so that we can create a comprehensive INT ecosystem there. President, the administration has a big role to play in creating this university town, but the sector and the business sector are willing to contribute and play a part as well. I so submit. Thank you. I support the motion. Mr. Chamberlain, thank you. I thank Mr. LAU Kwok-fan for moving the motion. In recent years, Hong Kong has been trying to build a study in Hong Kong brand and develop ourselves into an international post-secondary hub. According to the latest QS ranking, 5 of the universities are ranked top 100. With our strengths in research and development and the U.S. tightening their non-local students' enrollment, this is how we can attract foreign students and scholars to come. I think that universities are aware of this opportunity. They have purchased new premises to expand. If we can expedite the development of the university town, our local universities will have more space to develop. The government has reserved 90 hectares of land in the Northern Metropolis for the town, and in 2026 they are going to promulgate the development conceptual framework. There are already 19 universities saying that they are interested in setting up a campus in University Town. However, for each institution, there will be only a 5 hectare of site reserved for them. The Hon LAU NDA will be formed very soon in 2026, but it is only of 5 hectares. It is smaller than most of the universities and tertiary institutions in Hong Kong. For other sites, it will not be formed until 2023, 2029, 30. This shows that the speed of development and the size cannot meet the demand of universities in building hostels or infrastructures, and it's difficult for us to build a university town with economies of scale. It is expected that in 2028 there will be a shortage of 120,000 hostel places. It will affect and discourage foreign students from coming to Hong Kong. The Hon LAU Kwok-fan NDA is developing the quickest. The logistics sites was delayed because of a lack of interest. I think that the Northern Metropolis is a long-term project. The government should have regards to the market and the demand of the community to dynamically plan the sites to see if we should increase the size of the town, the university town. The Northern Metropolis and the Loop are both in the northern part of our territory. I think that we can leverage on the two sites and create synergy by implementing the core concept of education, research, industry, and residence. We can build hostels and talent accommodation, introduce R&D institutions, and align our zones with that on the Shenzhen and create an incubation zone to expedite commercialization of R&D outcome. I think that apart from local universities, international renowned tertiary institutions will also be interested in setting up a branch campus in the Northern Metropolis. By this, we can attract more non-local students, and this is conducive to our building ourselves into an international post-secondary hub. We have just organized a education and career fair that attracted over 1,000 organizations from 20 countries. Many parents and students said that because of the latest geopolitical tensions, the universities from the US and European universities are not that attractive anymore. Many more students now opt to stay in Hong Kong to study. I think that our local universities will become a place for students from the mainland and ASEAN countries to study. We can only drive the economy of Hong Kong if we plan the project and the North Metropolis well. I support the motion. Thank you. Mr. Kwok-fan. Deputy President, I speak in support of Mr. LAU Kwok-fan's motion and the amendments. The administration has a plan to develop an university town in the Northern Metropolis. This creates great opportunities for local tertiary institutions. Hung Shui Kiu Hachi New Development Area is the most unique. I think that we should designate it as a priority development zone so that we can accumulate experience before we develop the Gautame NDA and the NTN New Town. Hung Shui Kiu is next to the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link. It's next to the Lao Fao Shan and the INT zone. The land resumption work is about to be completed. The infrastructure's progress is ahead of Gautame New Town and is near Tuen Mun, Yuen Long, and Tin Shui Wai, which can offer community support and residential places for students. The Hung Shui Kiu Hachin NDA is of 441 hectares, but only 5 hectares are reserved for the university town. It's just 1/4 of our Victoria Park. It cannot meet the need of a single campus. How can we develop into a university town? The terrorist war recently may change the demand of the logistics industry. So I think that the government should rezone the industrial and GIC sites to meet the needs of tertiary institutions. We should expand the size of the university town. We should relax barriers and streamline land procedures to attract more local and overseas tertiary institutions to build branch campuses and R&D institutions here. As to whether the university town will be successful, it hinges on whether we are going to have sufficient community facilities. First, we have to solve the fragmentation issue. We have to improve the infrastructures and transport network in the Northern Metropolis to make sure that there is a transport linkage to the sites. We also have to improve the medical healthcare infrastructures and community facilities. We have to cater to the needs of talents to enhance our attractiveness. There are 2 types of university towns all over the world. Take Oxford and Cambridge as an example. In Japan, they also have a university town. Their government took the lead in creating this university town that integrate research, institute, industry, and business. I think that we should learn from the example of Japan to create a innovative university town by having a research type university as the core and take advantage of our internationalism to transform and commercialize our R&D outcome so that we can become a strong engine for INT. Many tertiary institutions are interested in moving into the town to make sure that the town is successful. I think that the government should launch a expression of interest exercise as soon as possible by inviting renowned local and overseas institutions to submit expressions of interest so that we can assess the future demand. Currently, the university town is still vacant. To make it more popular so that more talents will come and more local and foreign institutions will be interested in creating a campus, I think that we should leverage on the OASIS, the ETO, to launch promotional campaign to promote the vision and opportunities brought about by the town systematically. Thank you. Ms. Chen Hao-yan, thank you. To turn Hong Kong into an international post-secondary hub, we have to improve our education infrastructures. During the policy address consultation, I said that we should create a university metropolis. Ngau Ta Mei, new territories, North Newtown and Hong Shui-Kiu Hachi new development areas have been reserved for the town. Altogether, they comprise a site of 90 hectares. This is in line with the suggestions that I made earlier. Apart from having land, we have to make sure that the resources are well used and spent. People have high expectations and hopes for the town. We have to, therefore, be more proactive in speeding up the development of the university town. There are many tertiary institutions that want to expand. However, they don't have enough sites. They don't have land for student hostel even. I think that the government should offer discount on land premium, establish a land exchange mechanism. I think that then more tertiary institutions will be able to establish a presence in the university town. When institutions in the urban area are able to create a branch campus or relocate their campus to university town, then we can turn their site in the urban area into healthcare centers or recreational facilities. This is how we achieve a win-win situation. Apart from building campuses in the university town, we also have to pay attention to other infrastructure such as transportation network. After a student graduates, they have to have opportunities for creating their business. They have to be able to get a job. In order to enhance the attractiveness of the university town, we have to work on not just education, but also research, industry, and residents. Apart from developing INT, we need to have residential developments so that students can live here, study here, work here. I think that there should be a university town hostels operated by the government to lower the cost for tertiary institutions in the Northern Metropolis. We can reserve hostel places for graduates who have yet to find a job or start their business. When graduates live together with students, they can share their experience and grow together. I think that we should have also shared workspace in the Northern Metropolis University Town and offer entrepreneurial advice to graduates and students, and this will become an incubator for startups. And this can also be a place where enterprises identify their employees. Apart from this, we have to diversify our education. University Town should not be limited to research-type universities, but also universities of applied science. We have been attaching too much importance to academics, but not skills. If we can create a modern VPET universities or institutions, or upgrade some self-financing institutions to University of Applied Science, then we can nurture talents on vehicle repair and beauty services, so on and so forth. Then this will meet the needs of our industries. I'd like to also talk about May NDA. The government plan to build a third medical school there. This is conducive to our healthcare development. But there is an issue that we're facing. We don't have enough dental professionals in Hong Kong. Northern Metropolis focuses on the integration of research, industry, and commerce or business. I think that we should create a third dental school in the May NDA. I think that the government should dynamically plan and consolidate the site to expedite the development of the Northern Metropolis New Town. Thank you.
Ms. Dari Lee, first I'd like to thank Mr. Edward Lau for moving a motion on Northern Metropolis. This gives us another chance to have a discussion on this. The Northern Metropolis is a key drive engine. It enables Hong Kong to diversify in industries. So it is indeed worth our strong support. The development should be expedited. We look forward to seeing plans and measures to attract industries to establish presence there. We also support the development of our university town because there is demand and Hong Kong has advantages. Well, we've heard from the Secretary that the size will be increased from 60 hectares to 90 hectares. It's the right direction. I think the key of our discussion today is timing. Well, the first available site is 5 hectares next year. And then we have to wait till 2029 for May and NT North New Town 2031. That's just in relation to land formation, not construction. Our country is going to be turned into an education powerhouse in the coming decade. Well, there will be the peak demand for school places. I think that students will have to study overseas to pursue their education. When there is good and steady supply elsewhere, then there will be a significant change. So there will be changes in the mainland in the coming decade as well. I agree with the direction of the motion. We need to expedite the development of the Northern Metropolis. When conditions are right, the size should be increased, especially in relation to sites available next year. I have had discussions with my colleagues. We have to issue bonds and we have limited land. Well, should prime sites next to railway lines be given to universities? I think that if there are suitable industries and enterprises, the site should be given to them because universities don't need these sites. Sites given to universities don't generate direct revenue. Of course, we support the development of universities as well, but that should not be done in this way. The development model is one of financing by bond issuance. So we need to make sure that the figures tally. If we have industries to support the development of education, then, well, the direction is agreeable to me. 5 hectares is indeed not enough. Perhaps the government should consider using the development of the university town to drive industrial development. Well, there is this issue. Have you acquired all the land? If the land has been paid for, then there is no problem. But if you have to pay to acquire land to increase the size, this will increase cost. You will have to consider that as well. I think, all in all, you need to have a comprehensive consideration. The pace of the planning is a bit slow. In the first phase, should everything be done for the university town? I think it depends on whether you have identified suitable industries. I think that the pace should be picked up, the size should be increased. 5 hectares is indeed too small. There are a number of education institutions expressing an interest. Of course, the 8 UGC-funded universities will enjoy an advantage. But do you want to assist prestigious mainland universities to go global? Or do you have another goal? Maybe you need to conduct a survey. Draw reference from cities in which there is successful development of education hub. You need to maximize the benefit. I hope that you will conduct a detailed study. How to make use of the land that is ready in the shortest term for the development of the town. Mr. Su Cheng-wing. If Hong Kong is to be built into an international education hub, we do have the conditions. We have a number of universities that are top 100 universities in Hong Kong. We have a culture that's West and East mixed. We are very attractive to overseas students. We do have the favorable condition to develop the education into a pillar industry. There is acute demand for university places. At the same time, there is not enough teaching facilities or dormitory places. All these constrain the development of the education hub. The Northern Metropolis gives us an opportunity. I thank Mr. Edward Lau for his motion as well as the amendments from other members. There are 3 areas earmarked for development as university town in the Northern Metropolis. Ngau Tan Mei NDA as well as NT North New Town will be formed in 2029, the earliest. The one that is ready at the earliest is Hon LAU Kwok, but is only of 5 hectares in size. It's not sufficient for the planned development. I support the rezoning of GIC sites and turn them into sites that can be developed into university use. Priority should be given to the development of university town. Hon LAU Kwok-fan NDA has a strategic position. The land will be ready at the earliest compared to the other 2 sites. With the completion of the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link, there is direct connection to Qianhai. Is favorable for collaboration with the mainland. This attracts prestigious education institutions of the mainland to come to Hong Kong to set up campuses. This also is conducive to Hong Kong's positioning as a logistic hub. We can focus on smart logistics, applied science, and INT. We can combine talent grooming, development of industries, and development of ecosystem in one. The Hon LAU NDA should be expanded to accommodate at least 3 education institutions so that there will be economies of scale. Consideration should be given to the interaction of INT and University Town. You need to consider the land use for education and industry. Innovative measures should be put in place. Say, for example, preferential treatment, immigration facilitations, so that R&D centers can be set up there. I so submit. Thank you. Mr. Kenneth Lau. President. Last month, QS announces the rankings. 5 Hong Kong universities are classified as top 100 universities. And there are 15 key national laboratories in Hong Kong, as well as 22 branches to be established in Hong Kong. This shows that Hong Kong has made great achievements. If we are to tap into fully use our advantages, we need to expedite the development of the Northern Metropolis. The government has announced the development of a university town there. A multi-pronged approach will be used to promote development of diversified education as well as development of VPET. Hong Kong will be built into an international education hub. It will be a cradle of future talents. We can leverage the support of our country and make good use of our connection with the rest of the world. We can work with overseas countries. I suggest that quality education institutions in Hong Kong and other parts of the world should have a mutual recognition framework in place, mutual recognition of university degrees and achievements. This will be conducive to attracting overseas students to come to Hong Kong. I ask the administration to provide tax concessions and incentives to attract overseas education institutions to come to Hong Kong to establish branches or establish presence. The 14th Five-Year Plan expressed clear support for Hong Kong to be turned in to develop the 8 centers. Well, Hong Kong should have a complementary collaboration with the mainland. We need to play out the role given by our country well. We need to groom a good pool of talent to contribute to our country. Northern Metropolis is in proximity to a number of land control points. The government should liaise with higher education institutions with different provinces. Possibilities should be explored for further collaboration in terms of teaching and R&D. I now turn to an industry-driven and infrastructure-led approach. There will be different industries in the Northern Metropolis. There are a number of new development areas in the pipeline in the Northern Metropolis. Out of the 3 sites of University Town, Hon LAU will be ready at the earliest. It will take quite some time for the other 2 areas to be ready. I'm afraid that they will not be able to be ready to meet demand. I urge the administration to give priority to the development of University Town. Facilitation measures should be put in place for talents to start working there. R&D institutions should be attracted to set up there so that there will be commercialization of R&D projects. I ask the government to take on board my suggestions and incorporate my ideas in the development conceptual framework. There should be clear allocation of resources and division of labor of the different parts. Hong Kong should be built into an international education hub.
Mr. Louis Leung. President, Director Xia Baolong said during his meeting with Secretary for Education, Ms. Choi Yuk-lin in Beijing, said that we should be proud of our galvanized brand of post-secondary education in Hong Kong. It is one of our core competitiveness. Now, during his visits earlier on, when he met with the 8 university heads, he reiterated the same. It highlights the country's aspiration for Hong Kong to become an international educational hub. Now, to galvanize our educational brand, the government plans to establish university towns in the 3 new development areas. 90 hectares of land have been set aside for the purpose. There are 2 keywords in our motion: dynamic planning and expeditious development. Now, dynamic planning echoes my proposal of white planning. We need to provide more flexibility to the development project. On how to expedite the development of the unit town, I have several suggestions. Now, the 3 sites are scattered, and the site is too small for accommodating the 8 local universities, as well as the overseas research and educational bodies, as well as the 3rd medical school. Whether 90 hectares is enough really needs reviewing. Now, Northern Metropolis development relies on planning. The same applies to the unit town. We need to plan ahead and draw for talents and research teams from all over the world. The government should offer incentives in terms of low land premium or even premium waiver to provide research sites for universities. Financial subsidies should also be offered to scientific research projects with an industry focus that will foster the growth of our own ecosystem. Third, we need to study facilitation measures to streamline work visa and also other visa schemes for overseas talents. We should facilitate learning of talents' children in Hong Kong, and also provide more incentive schemes for foreign scholars to come to Hong Kong. Now, with the policies ready, we should strike out proactively and promote collaboration with leading enterprises and sell the opportunities in the Northern Metropolis to world-class post-secondary institutions. Then we will have a world-class research and academic cluster in the uni towns, and that is also in alignment with our policy direction of developing new and state-of-the-art industries. Now, the Education Bureau will deliver the University Town Development Conceptual Framework next year. However, competition is keen internationally. Famous scholars and researchers are hard to find. So we need to have the conceptual framework as soon as possible. It should cover land planning, scale of institutions, provision of ancillary facilities, as well as facilitation measures for talents, so that interested universities can start planning as soon as possible. The faster we move, the safer our galvanized brand is. And our position in the knowledge-based economy in the world will also be enhanced. The meeting is suspended until 9 a.m. tomorrow.